The trash talker. This is the DB whose playstyle is 50% coverage and 50% chatter. They are constantly talking trash on every single play, even if he had no effect on the play. Sometimes they win the mental battle and completely psych a receiver out of their game. Other times, they get completely exposed. These trash talkers tend to be Pro Bowl level DBs because you have to be good to be talking trash. Key trait, manipulation. Main players, Richard Sherman, Jalen Ramsey, and Marcus Peters. The pick artist. This is the DB that's a specialist in getting interceptions. Unlike other DBs, they actually have hands and don't constantly drop the ball, allowing them to get over 10 interceptions in a season. One big problem they often have is that they become so interception focused and completely throw themselves out of the games at times, just trying to catch one. Key trait, table turner. Main players, Night Train Lane, Trayvon Diggs, Paul Krause. Shout out to Madden Mobile for letting this Night Train Lane card terrorize the game for years. If you know, you know. The blitzer. These are DBs, but mostly safeties who are elite at rushing the quarterback. On some occasions though, they can become extremely one-dimensional and end up being linebackers in disguise, who are better at blitzing than actually covering the field. Key trait, pressure. Main players, Harrison Smith, Jamal Adams, the blitz god himself, and Rodney Harrison. The old head. You know that most defensive backs, especially cornerbacks, don't make it into the late 30s because they lose speed. But as with anything, there are exceptions. These are the DBs that have been around forever. They tend to be cornerbacks who have converted to safety because they lost a step, but make up for it with their experience and wisdom in game. Key trait, intelligence. Main players, Charles Woodson, Darrell Green, Rondé Barber. The GOATs. Simply put, these are the DBs you have to locate every single play, and if you don't, they will make you pay for it. They can shut down entire players or even sides of the field. This caliber of player is the type that completely redefines what it means to be a legendary defensive back and would dominate in every era. Key trait, dominance. Main players, Darrell Revis, Deion Sanders, Rod Woodson, Ronnie Lott, and Champ Bailey. Mr. Do-It-All. Honestly, these players can certainly fit in the GOAT category as well, but I decided to give them their own category that suits them much better. While a player like Deion Sanders wasn't much of a blitzer, and Jamal Adams wasn't the best at covering, these are the opposite. These do-it-all DBs can and will do everything on the field to make their team win, and they have absolutely no holes in their game. A pick, a sack, hell, even a punt return, they can do it all. Key trait, versatility. Main players, Troy Polamalu, Brian Dawkins, and Ed Reed. The bust. This is the high first round pick that wasn't even good enough to make a Pro Bowl. Oftentimes, these players never even come remotely close to meeting expectations. They're usually hyped up in college, and bonus points if they don't even make it to the end of their rookie contract before getting traded or cut. Key trait, wasted potential. Main players, Damon Arnett, D. Milner, and Justin Gilbert. Fun fact, the Browns didn't even meet with Justin Gilbert before drafting him. I know you can't meet with all 300 plus potential prospects, but Gilbert was their 8th overall pick. That's insane. One moment, man. This is the DB who has exactly one game that they are known for and ride that for the rest of their career. Sometimes they are bad players, but most of the time they are just average players who happen to be in the right place at the right time, with this big play being the single thing that fans remember about them. Key trait, iconic. Main players, Malcolm Butler, Larry Brown, Tracy Porter. The bum. The difference between this player and the bust is mainly the expectation by draft position, but they're usually kept around just for team depth and aren't bad enough to be out of the league, but do have to constantly be finding new teams to play for every few years. Key trait, ass. Main players, Brandon Stevens, Eli Apple, Valentino Blake. The over celebrator. This is just your average DB. Even when they actually did nothing to affect the play and it's just a bad throw by the quarterback, they will still celebrate like they locked the world down. Key trait, arrogance. Main players, every single DB ever. The white DB. This is the deceptively quick, fundamentally sound, and sneaky athletic DB with a high football IQ. Just kidding. But honestly, the cornerback position has had the least amount of white players. There was around a 20-year gap from Jason Sehorn in 2003 until Reed Blankenship in 2022. Key trait, defying expectations. Main players, John Lynch, Cooper DeJean, and Reed Blankenship. The penalty flag collector. This is the bump, but he doesn't let himself get blown by because his ego won't let him. So he just ends up committing pass interference on third down when you bet on the under or when he's on your team's defense. The best part is when he acts confused, as if it wasn't the most blatant penalty as well. Key trait, pass interference. Main players, Brashad Breeland, Saints Brendan Browner, who has an absolutely absurd record by the way, and DeAndre Baker. One season wonder. A little different from the one moment man we had earlier, this player had one great season, usually an all-pro or Pro Bowl level, but then never returned to that level again. But they live in infamy for how iconic that one season was. Another factor that plays a part is that when they're on a good team, they get a huge PR boost, which is why they get the Pro Bowl and All-Pro nods for that season. Key trait, unrepeatable. Main players, Josh Norman, Deron Bland, Byron Jones. The funny name. This is the DB that just has a funny name. Honestly, that's it. Key trait, humor. Main players, HaHa Clinton Dix, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Storm Duck. Note before I end this video, there are several players who could fit in more than one category, but I wanted to give as many players credit as possible and not make the video last forever. This is Gade Films. Like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching and stay fantastic.